the way modern Fallout handles weapon progression is a bit dull. But believe it or not, the Fallout game that was headed in a direction to fix this issue was Fallout 4. You see, Fallout 4 essentially introduced a 3-tier equipment system. With the guns, you had pipe weapons like the pipe gun and pipe revolver, handmade weapons like the handmade rifle, and pre-war weapons, which is basically almost everything else. There were also crude weapons like the crude blowback, although that was cut from the final game. And a fun fact, the first pipe weapon we ever see is actually in Fallout 2. But Fallout 4 never really committed to what this system could have been. And because of that, one of the biggest problems Fallout has right now is that eventually finding new weapons just isn't that exciting. It's a little bit in the early to mid game, but enemy loot is tied to your level. And in Fallout 4, leveling up is easy and basically infinite. A few hours in and everything's already spawning. For me personally, everything is easy in Fallout 4, but I've already made a video about that. Instead, I want to focus on how to fix the weapon progression, because after a while, nothing really feels special anymore. And I think Bethesda realized this. So they introduced the legendary system. Random enemies drop random weapons with random effects from a pool of dozens. And since this video is an opinion piece, I'll just say it. I really don't like this system. I much prefer named unique equipment. They were the ones with the special effects, and thus they were actually unique. In Fallout 4, you can find a legendary weapon, and then later on find another one with the exact same effect. Or even worse, a random drop that's basically identical to a named unique, completely erasing the uniqueness. And the enemies themselves don't help much either. Legendary enemies are very shallow in their functionality. It's just a regular enemy with double the health pool. That's it. There's nothing legendary about them. And half the time they're carrying weapons they either don't use or just have no business being in their inventory. So instead of random modifiers, I think Fallout should fully commit to a 3-tier system and bring back weapon condition for Fallout 3 in New Vegas. Here's how we make it work. Crude or pipe weapons sit at the bottom. They're simple, easy to build, highly customizable, and they degrade quickly. Then you have handmade weapons. These are built by skilled wasteland gunsmiths, often using salvaged pre-war parts. They're more reliable, degrade more slowly, and still offer solid customization, but less than pipe weapons. And then at the top, you have pre-war weapons. These are the most uncommon. They cannot be crafted, only found, and they never degrade. But they're also the least moddable, because most of their attachments will also need to be pre-war. Which allows me to transition into another thing that's always bothered me about Fallout 4, the crafting system, specifically crafting weapon attachments. Because right now, you just need to get a few perks and you can build a high-tech recon scope out of duct tape, aluminum foil, a beer bottle, and 45 pounds of testosterone. That doesn't make any sense. It's a high-tech pre-war weapon attachment, and I'm just going to put one together in an afternoon on a workbench? Of course not. And get this, Fallout 4 had a solution built in for this too. Yes, there are vendors that sell weapon mods, and in rare cases, you can find them out in the world too. But it's all pointless, because it's pretty much always easier to just build everything yourself. And since there's no level cap, you don't even have to specialize in crafting or anything. You can just do everything. With this system, the best weapon mods in the game need to be found. Your character shouldn't be able to craft absolutely everything. This way you can even keep the unlimited level cap and still have some sense of scarcity, which is what I'm trying to create here no matter where you are in the game. Pre-war weapons should still be able to spawn on enemies, but not often, and very advanced weapons should be rare. Your main sources should be boss enemies, quests, and hand-placed locations. A Brotherhood of Steel patrol coming through with power armor and laser rifles should mean something. Do you risk trying to set a trap and taking them down? You'll most likely die, but the rewards are high. You know those notes you sometimes find saying something like, hey, we stashed the weapon at the place? Well, with this system, that can actually mean something, because now that weapon could genuinely be worth it. For any Battletech fans watching, think of pre-war weapons like Lost Tech. Now, the unifying limiter in all this is the same thing it's always been: ammo. So even if you find a powerful pre-war weapon, you might not be able to use it much, because low-tier ammo like 38 or 9mm is common, while microfusion cells and plasma cartridges are not, which also means that ammo crafting, like in Fallout New Vegas, should make a comeback. But listen, if you're worried about scarcity extremes, then how about this? Tie it to the difficulty. The higher the difficulty setting, the less you see rare weapons and ammo spawning just out in the world, on enemies and random chests. The lower the difficulty setting, the exact opposite. And just like that, I added more depth to how Bethesda handles difficulty in their games. It's not just a damage multiplier now. Personally, I'd like to see them add all kinds of options to let us modify the game's difficulty, but I digress. Because right now you're probably thinking this is all well and good, but how could this fit in Fallout lore? Normally in the Fallout universe, it seems like you can't take 2 steps without tripping over some kind of weapon. Well, I can think of several ways to write this into the narrative, but the simplest one would probably be, you're not the first one here. The region's been picked clean, the Brotherhood of Steel came through and took all the advanced tech they could cart away. Other factions, raiders, and scavengers took the rest. What you're left with is what remains. And in that kind of world, gunsmiths, blacksmiths, armorsmiths, and whatever it is they call someone who makes bullets, are extremely valuable to everyone, because the people who control and maintain the best equipment controls the region. I mentioned more than just gunsmiths because this doesn't just apply to guns. The 3-tier system can also apply to melee weapons, armor, and explosives. It kind of already does, as you can see here. What the system really does is make equipment discovery matter again. It makes exploration more exciting, progression more meaningful, and even opens the door for better storytelling and quests. Thank you for watching. This is an idea I've had for a while now, and I'd love to hear what you think about it in the comment section. Do you think Fallout 4 is too easy? Also, you might enjoy this video too. I talk about how the Fallout TV show actually improved power armor. A big thank you goes out to all my channel members, and until next time, have a good one.